These people come onto site and make their demands on site. Now, it may be a very friendly first meeting and the pressures don't seem very great. But if you know, for instance, that the day prior that some building contractor has been shot and the racketeers arrive with you next day, you don't need a crossword said to you, you know what they mean. But sometimes perhaps a contractor will be taken into a local club and he will have a barrel of a gun stuck 3 inches down his throat, and they will explain to him the merits of having a private security firm operated by the paramilitaries look after his particular business, and you may still find not a crossword spoken.
Councillor Brian Feeney says the grip of the terrorists is now almost unbreakable.
The control that these people have on everyday lives of ordinary people is the most serious problem, because to deal with it, you're going to have to confront the fact that anyone who gives information will be killed. It's as simple as that.
One of those who paid the ultimate price was the Reverend Robert Bradford, the Westminster MP for South Belfast, whose widow Nora says he was preparing to expose Republican racketeering before his murder in 1981.
He lived under continual threat. In the last, I suppose, 6 months, we had reports of threats every week, at least, if not a couple of times a week. And he had decided that the best way to get at the terrorist organisations was to get at their funding. He felt that the only way to undermine that type of organisation was to stop the funds. So he had worked on that avenue for quite a while, for really a couple of years before he died. He felt that there was an awful lot of money coming through Belfast and through the bandit machines, through different mafia-style organisations.
£13 million comes from sources like the building industry, drinking clubs and black taxis.
The taxis began in the early 70s when there was consistent civil turmoil, which meant that buses were being hijacked or stoned or burnt, and people couldn't get up from the centre of Belfast. Men then started taxiing up and down the Falls Road, taking their own routes through back streets and avoiding the turmoil on the front of the road. Once again, the IRA took over the taxis and exact a weekly toll from the drivers. Pretty soon they found they were making so much money out of running the taxis that when normality began to return and buses started to run again on the Falls Road, people burnt the buses and hijacked them, and it was impossible for the buses to compete.
A campaign of bombing pubs and hotels led to a situation where the Conway Street Mill officers of the Association of Drinking Clubs now control scores of seemingly shabby but highly profitable drinking clubs like this one in the Ardoyne.
At the moment, it grosses over £90,000 a year.
In there?
In there. It never had planning permission.
What power they've got.
That's right. They dominate this area. And most of the money that's taken in this club, that's profit, goes to the support of the IRA.